Are you gonna start talking?
Yes. Good morning, Community Culture Church. This is the Pharmacist here.
And Cheech.
Today we just wanted to talk a little bit about some garden hacks. I know we've briefly touched on pests in the garden. As your garden continues to flourish, we're starting to get into the late spring. Temperatures are increasing, fruit's coming out, and with that, the pests are starting to increase as well. And so we wanted to give you a few garden hacks today. Was it 5 tips?
Well, I don't know. We're just going to talk about a little bit of pest control.
Yeah, pest control from the microscopic pest all the way to the weenie dog pest. Mm-hmm. And we basically have a infiltration right now of cabbage worms. Yeah, they're cabbage worms, cabbage worms, and we're trying to get ready for the aphids to start attacking our squash, because it's not a matter if they will, it's a matter of when they will. So we're going to do some preventative maintenance there to try to capture them and trap them organically before they eat all of our hard-earned produce with our
squash.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have some fried squash last night. It was really good, so we want to make sure to protect that.
Yeah. So we've got a little, like a wives' tale, I guess, about a yellow cup and some Vaseline that we're going to show you.
We're going to show
an experiment.
An experiment, because this is not a proven method that we've tried yet.
And then we've got another option. Instead of like a chemical insecticide, we're gonna give this a go. Okay, so to make this, all it is 4 cups of water and then 2 tablespoons of Dawn dish soap. And you want to add the water first and then pour in the dish soap so that it's not creating a ton of suds before, and then just gently shake it up. So 4 cups water, 2 tablespoons dish soap, and we're just gonna spray it on the leaves.
As you can tell, we've waited way too long to treat these. Our Brussels sprouts are pretty eaten up, and as I'd mentioned, you really need to try to get ahead of pests when they start forming. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see that little squash, yeah, those little caterpillar worms. So Chelsea, if you will, go ahead and spray some of that on there. We're going to treat every leaf. Yeah, and that's fine. You'll probably knock them off. You can also, there's suggestions on using high pressure water first and foremost to knock those off. But
that big one down there.
Yeah, go ahead and nuke him. Let's see if we can't get rid of those guys. But we're going to treat this whole thing with soapy water, let it set for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to rinse everything off.
Man, you're like Speed Racer. Like nothing worse than flipping a leaf over and seeing that many.
See them?
Oh yeah, they're all falling on this yellow leaf. Yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. Look at that tiny little one. Here, nuke these guys. Ew! I hope this works. Now, what does this do? I mean, as far as like, if you've got some that are eating on your leaves, does it always affect the fruit? You know?
I mean, if it affects the photosynthesis process and the budding,
if you get enough holes into your leaves and it's not photosynthesizing.
I don't think we're there yet. I mean, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, but these are Brussels sprouts, and you don't harvest them till later.
Right, but you need to keep the process going, obviously, and that's why it's
growing Brussels sprouts in general is kind of an experiment for us.
Well, my plan is to kill all these back, and then as the new growth leaves come out, start pruning the old leaves that are permanently damaged, and then stay up on this weekly on killing these suckers back, because we should not have. I mean, this is our fault. It's really, we could have gotten way ahead of this. Okay, we're just gonna do a little test here to see how quickly this soap kills these worms. Just keep filming. I'm melting. I hope you do melt.
Between these worms,
spawn of Satan.
God, oh God.
It's all out war, man. They've eaten my Brussels sprouts.
He's already slowing down.
They won the first battle, but they will not win the war.
That's right. He's definitely dying. This
Yeah,
might
it's the
be like...
surfactant. I got to see why chemically, like why that works. I think it has to do with, I mean, obviously they have a very weird matrix, like they're outside.
Why can't you be a worm hunter? You and Molly both. Hunt worms, kill ants. Definitely dead. Yeah, he's done for. Sorry, little guy. He had a good life. Hi, guys. Oh. Okay, so our little old wives' tale that we're gonna do is to get a yellow cup, or I was at the Family Dollar and found these bowls. They're 6 for $1, so I thought that's an even better value. And the yellow color is supposed to attract the bugs because it's like the pollen of a flower.
It's like the bloom, yeah.
Like the bloom of a flower, right? So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take these bowls and we're gonna coat the outside of them with Vaseline. Go away, Watson. Or like petroleum jelly. Now, I don't know if this is gonna help or hurt our experiment, but all I could find was cocoa butter scented.
I think it's gonna help.
So it smells
Let me smell.
really nice.
Oh, that is good.
And
If I was an aphid, I'd definitely try to stick on that.
chocolate, you wanna grab that?
Yep.
So, just gonna take your bowl, and I've got these, whoa, this fork here. Probably better with a knife or
My concern is
brush.
that same idea that will attract aphids. I'm worried about pollinators sticking to it, like bees getting stuck. So we're just gonna do a couple beds as an experiment. I don't want my bees to get stuck to it, but maybe they'll be strong enough to
fly off.
Yeah, to fly off if they do get attracted to it and come to it. But we'll see how that works. But I'm liking the idea behind it.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cheap, easy, and even if you didn't have, like if you can't find a yellow cup or a yellow bowl or something, you could just get a red Solo cup and some yellow paint and paint it yellow.
What I like about it too is there's like evidence of what actually was there, and so you're trapping basically what was there so you can see
What you're dealing with.
Right, what enemy you're dealing with,
Yes.
so you can
Know how to fight.
attack it.
We know how to fight our
voraciously.
battles.
Absolutely.
Right, Chris Dahlman? Okay, so I just did a light layer over the whole outside. I guess I should do the top as well, huh?
It's a Vaseline cake.
It smells really good.
I know, if I was an aphid, I'd be all over it. I'd
Okay.
be tap dancing on top of that dude.
Okay, so it's completely covered, and then we're just gonna take it over, and some people will take and put like a stick or a stake and kind of let it set in the garden like this, but we these aren't, I mean, they're not real deep, so we're just gonna set them down on some stakes on a flat surface, so that way they can kind of fly to it that way. But really, I mean, if you notice an area where there's maybe a lot, or if you wanted to get them high up or whatever, just set them somewhere and then check back, and I'll check back this evening and we'll see how it works, or maybe we'll update you next week. Okay, so I'm just gonna take it and set it down here, and you can see that there's the jelly, Vaseline, whatever, all over it. And I'm just gonna set it on one of these stakes that we have here, and kind of tuck it in there a little bit. And hopefully the aphids and the bad bugs will be attracted to it and not the good pollinators. But if we come back later and there's like bees or any type of pollinator on it, we'll definitely pull them out of the garden immediately and call that a fail. But little old wives' tale for you, kind of one of those things. So we'll let you know how it goes.
All right, guys, I just wanted to update you on the Tower of Spud. There's a lot of blooms, obviously some vegetation growing outside of that. Pretty excited on the outcome of just getting the propagation going, and they're taking off like crazy. So I just wanted to give you, this is a 2-week update, and Tower is doing really, really well. I think that's the #1.
Are toads bad for gardens?
No, they're good.
Eat some bugs?
Yeah, he's a bug eater, man.
Hey, Mr. Toad.
Eat some aphids.
Just stay away from the dogs, they will eat you.
Cheech made a mistake of letting me have the camera. This is probably the #1 pest in our garden right here. It's about a 6-pound weenie dog. They're friend, Otto. He's about an 8-pound weenie dog. They really like to get in our garden bed. And we don't have cats because Watson, he's a cat executor. That's another story for another day. He absolutely hates cats and will kill them on seeing them. So I thought this was really funny. It took me back to my Vietnam days of watching the Green Berets with John Wayne and the punji sticks that the Viet Cong used to make. And basically, we're putting a bunch of forks in the onion bed. We saw this hack. Yeah, it's Molly's favorite spot. And so hopefully now, as Molly tries to get into the garden bed, or if you have a pesky cat that turns your raised beds into a litter box, this is like the #1 way to keep cats from crapping in your raised bed.
So I'll let you know how that goes.
Okay, so we covered quite a bit of information in a quick amount of time. Some of it is proven by us, and some of us, or some of these methods we do know that will work. I'm kind of very leery about the squash aphid trap. I hope it works because I've been looking for organic ways to blast those pestilence off the face of the earth. But I think that obviously the caterpillar worm project, the surfactant works on that.
That was a success.
I am not endorsing Dawn dishwashing soap spraying on your vegetables. I'm fixing to wash it all off, but it did kill those worms, those cabbage worms, like instantly.
Yeah, in less than like 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds, it was dead.
And I need to heed my own advice. It's just like anything in life. You've got to get ahead of things before they really kind of
set up
snowball
walls,
on
some
you.
barriers, yeah.
Put some barriers around yourself. Same goes for gardening. We reacted too late on getting on the Brussels sprouts. They'll be fine. We'll kill those off. New growth will happen. I'll prune the nasty stuff back. But as in life, sometimes we wait too long to address issues in our life.
Causes more damage than what was really necessary.
Yeah, and you really don't know the long-term damage that if you just don't attack it right away. You know, this perhaps we could see the Brussels sprouts not being able to fruit later in the fall because of our lack of attention to detail.
Yeah.
And that just kind of goes back to it's good every once in a while in life just to sit and reflect and look at things that you can clean up in life.
Yeah, and just like take time doing the daily things, the daily routine of, you know, maybe you enjoy a quiet time, like daily prayer, worship in your car, whatever it is. You know, investing that time into your life could really produce a lot more in the long run if you just stick with it versus letting some of those things kind of go and putting it on the back burner, or I don't have time. Those are honestly, when it comes down to it, it's excuses.
Yeah. And that's really how you get ahead in life. It's not the big picture stuff, it's the little things. You've got to incrementally step into little things, and it's the same with your journey and walk with God. You're not going to be a mature Christian overnight. You know, it obviously takes studying in the Word. Daily growth, and I am
same goes for the garden.
No expert in that field. I struggle with that daily to stay plugged into God's Word. And it's just something, it's a good reminder that you've got to be deliberate and diligent.
This has been a good reminder for me today. I needed this lesson to remind myself to stay in the worship and the prayer life and in God's Word. It's all super important and something that really benefits us day to day. Makes a huge difference in the long run.
Who would have thought we could have paralleled a weenie dog getting stabbed in the butt with a fork to a biblical lesson?
Yeah, put up those guards, put up those walls.
Absolutely. Guys, this is a pharmacist. I hope everybody has a great week. Thanks for checking in with us, and keep us in your thoughts and prayers, and we'll do the same.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.